Hello, this is Tarregor. Welcome to the Vision of World of Warcraft Classic Plus. This is a Twitch stream that was not edited, so it's going to look like a Twitch stream. The design direction of my Vision of Classic Plus is substantially different from that of retail WoW Circus Shadowlands, into private servers, Vanilla Plus, and Turtle WoW. This is partially because its aims to fix Vanilla WoW's many problems first, flash on a polish its already there second, and I do content third. This is part of a playlist of videos. Check this video's description for a link to the playlist. The document displayed is my Vision of Classic Plus. I forgot where it was in the script. And the document's version number is 1.5.15. All versions of the document are based upon patch 1.12.2 of WoW, the one before the Burning Crusade pre-patch. I already says the playlist of videos to thank. If you just want to know about the general design direction of my Vision of Classic Plus before you otherwise look into this, to watch the introductory video in this playlist or video document yourself and look at the list of major features. The link to the document is my channel's About page. That and I does not have a team of people, however, working with me to make an actual private server out of this. It's all pure design thus far and it ain't done yet. Now on to the quest changes. For changes to the AQ event, scroll down to section number 4.0.12, AQ event changes. For changes to PvP quests, see section 5, PvP. Some class quest changes are found in section 7 classes. Oh wait, is that still section 7? Yeah, it is, I remember now. Under its appropriate subsections. The rest are found here and in the next. For new quests, see section number 4.0.9, Content Additions. The rest of the quest changes are found here in this section and the next section, which will be the next video. NPCs that have quests that are too low level to result in them having a golden exclamation point over their heads, well, instead of a copper exclamation point over their heads, making it be easier to find gray quests. Chen's empty keg and the associated quest will be removed from the game to reinforce Pandaria as being retconned out of existence. Chen Stormstout was originally a joke character, and it's going to stay that way in this game. The Alliance shall be given... I do plan to make a sequel of some sort, but it won't be an MMO. Well, actually, it'll technically be one, but only someone hosts a server for it. Anyway, the Alliance shall be given 2 or 3 new quests that reward envelope 63 blue items to compensate for the Horde getting more envelope 63 quest rewards than the Alliance did. When Smokey sings, I get Violet. I haven't really defined much about this yet, by the way. When Smokey sings, I get Violet will require you to get credit for blowing up every structure one time, as opposed to blowing up the same structure multiple times, in order to complete the quest. Servants of the Grawl, Alisarge, Sevine, and Razalik will no longer be able to level up your weapon skill when they are unkillable. This is to make it be less trivial to level your weapon skill. To make it be less trivial to level your weapon skills. That, and they'll be granted immunity to charm effects since they're already mind controlled. This will prevent them from being used to perform various exploits. The quest, A Crew Under Fire, will be fixed, and it will be made sure that it has some sort of reward for its completion, even if it's just an experience, and it will not be repeatable. The duration of Absorbent Social Shrinker will be reduced to 1 hour. It does not need to be any longer than that. That's for the Giant Shrinking quest in Feralis, near the coast. The quest timer of the quest, Alpha Strike, will be lowered to between 20 and 30 minutes. The quest timer is too long to be significant for all but very under-leveled characters. The number of Centaur required to unleash Warlord Kronzar, as well as the quest timer for the related quest, Counterattack, will be reverted to their patch 1.1.2 values, which should make the quest be harder, which is the intention here. The Elijah Chimes above Sazral's pick will be removed to go towards making the game harder. Not even the starter subzone of the starter zone needs to hold your hand that hard, especially when you can just ask another player where it is. Or watch where everyone's camping for the spawn point. So that last part only applies during the server release. It will be ensured that Deep Strider tumors drop from Deep Strider Giants as was originally intended, and not from Green Dragon Whelps, making the player's go to death list is not so bad for a Swapasara's quest. It will be ensured that the quest, Compendium of the Fallen, is not only unobtainable by dead players, but also cannot be shared with undead players because of what the quest thematically involves. The Crystal of Zimbalor will deal 2,000 damage and drain that much mana, both instantly and not per second, if you are not worthy, in order to prevent it from being used to break crowd control effects. Skull of Impending Doom does not pose a similar problem, because you have to equip it and it'll invoke a random perfection cooldown when you use it, more on that in a different video, and so it will not be changed accordingly. And so Skull of Impending Doom will not be changed according to the Chrysalis and Malor change. Moving on. The quest Field Duty will no longer reward the player if any scenario on circle reputation lets players to do quests over and over again without killing anything. You're doing any other quest for easy scenario on circle reputation. It just does not thematically make sense to go from neutral to honor to scenario on circle by saying that you're going to do this ton of stuff and then not actually doing it. Because Chandra is a deity, a one worshipped by his boss and Zolgrub no less, the quest Summoning Chandra will be turned into a level 60, 55 minimum, 10-man raid quest, and Venom to the Understudy's rewards will be upgraded to item level 63 blue items, and the quest Summoning Chandra will merely summon her avatar, who will be a level unknown raid who'll be a level skull raid boss instead of Chandra herself. Speaking of this quest chain, the completion text of the name of the spider god will be changed to say Intol quotation mark. Lord Thunder Chandra, speak its name only whispers, for its utterance carries much weight, and you rouse of the spirit. I'll put it to parchment and create a spell of summoning, but an army of people like you wouldn't stand a chance against an avatar of Chandra. Come back for this parchment when you're stronger. That's what the quest giver would say. And the part of the quest description that says that he must summon their god will instead be changed to say he must summon their god's avatar. Excuse me. Then you must summon their god's avatar. Horns and Desderal will grant a substantial amount of Ravenhold reputation upon its completion because it makes sense. The Dungeon 1, formerly Dungeon 2, quest chain will have its financial requirements halved, rounded up, because its rewards will not be as they were in vanilla. Speaking of which, this is mentioned in section number 3.0.3, item identities and related changes, but these quests will reward you Dungeon 1 gear instead of requiring Dungeon 1 gear to complete. And Dungeon 1 gear will only be obtainable from those quests, and the Dungeon 2 sets will not exist anymore. They'll be removed from the game. The Bird of Not Storm request to get a different, not upgraded, ring will require, instead of 15 of 3 different kinds of scarabs from Encourage, which no longer exist, the scarabs, not Encourage. The scarabs are what are removed from the game. Encourage is still there, but not the scarabs. The lootable scarabs. Yeah, a number of large, small, and large. So yeah, instead of requiring scarabs for the ring change, you're going to need a lot of large and small shards, as a bunch of light solicited carapaces, heavy solicited carapaces, and even more solicited shit. The Booty Bay teleporter will not work for you while you are in combat, nor for 5 seconds after leaving combat either. This should prevent various exploits from occurring. If somebody, NPC or not, interferes with the quest, the Balance of Light and Shadows by killing skeletons set spawn, then the priest on the quest will instantly fail the quest. And if if anyone otherwise interferes with the quest, the priest will instantly fail the quest. Whenever somebody interferes with the fighting of the demons who says are the objectives of the quest, say to the ancients, the demon will simply despawn, and the cleaner will not spawn. The demons who says are the objectives of the quest, say the ancients will no longer have the heads on their loot tables when the killer is on the quest for the heads. Instead, upon death, the relevant demon's head will spawn in the killer's inventory if the demon was properly slain, meaning that you did 100% of the damage to the demon and a bag slot was available for it. If it was not the case before, you'll not be able to cause the demon's party save of the Ancient's quest to reveal its demonic form if you already have its head or have completed the quest, save of the Ancients. This and the above relevant changes should prevent hunters from selling quest completions to other hunters, meaning that hunters will have to actually be good at their class to complete the quest. Which is extra important because Rock Dalar and Loc Dalar are being turned into legendary items, and the Ancient Petrified Leaf is having its drop rate drastically reduced as a result of that. Dreadful Fright will be a horrify instead of a fear. As such, a preemptive curse of recklessness casted upon a hunter will not trivialize the fight against Solemnity Slayer. Quests that ask you to obtain more than one of an object that is looted from a non-corpse, some of those quests will take place in a larger area by having to roll the subzone or however. Anymore. By having the relevant subzone or however be expanded so that there's more of the objects to go around with. For example, you're playing with a friend and are both trying to get the quest done at the same time. I've yet to determine which quests and areas in particular will be affected by this change. It shall be ensured that buffs such as Ekayashi's Grace, Ichimu Hall's Rage, and Strength of Isha Alak are given are given to the player after completing your respective quests. Young Arakar will be renamed to Baby Arakar to reflect Arakar's real power level. Arakar will be renamed to Juvenile Arakar to reflect Arakar's real power level. No, power level is not a stat, it's a cinematic thing. After all, Magatha Grimtome said that Karen Bloodhoof of all people should be afraid of Arakar, which probably would not be the case until Arakar is fully grown, if you can just beat him up as a quest objective. A low-level quest objective of that, well actually mid-level. Sindal will be turned into an elite mob. The associated quests will be labeled as a group quest, and the rewards will not be increased accordingly. Will not be buffed accordingly. It shall be ensured that you cannot do quests Baron Aquinas, however the hell you pronounce that, Baron Aquinas, more than once per character. The Logistics Task Briefing 4 will no longer ask for oil of immolation. It will instead ask for something else, seeing as how oil of immolation was removed from the game. Designed out Essence of Earth might be put to good use here, since a fair number of those drop into Molten Core. More on why I got rid of oil of immolation in the eventual alchemy video. Scrying materials will ask for 2 small brilliant shards instead of 2 large brilliant shards in order to increase the value of small brilliant shards. Tainted Vitriol will no longer be bind on pickup and will be able to be seen as an area beacon, seeing as how jewel crafters can use it to craft endgame jewels. More on that in the eventual jewel crafting video. Blood Amber will no longer be a quest-only item, nor be bind on pickup, so you will be able to get them without being on a quest, and you'll be able to trade them as ordinary items, simply because jewel crafters can use them to craft endgame jewels. Not particularly valuable ones, if I recall correctly. Because, yeah. Anyway, let's skip to the because part. I'll get to the end of the jewel crafting video. Tome Valor Part 4 will reward you with Sense Undead and Sense Demon instead of Sense Undead and a green shield. Sense Demon is a technically new spell, it's just a copy of the Warlock spell. Test of Righteousness Part 3 will also reward you with a blue one-handed weapon and a blue shield. Touch of Zanzo will instantly reapply itself when it wears off, unless it gets dispelled by Ude Mixopixel or Hedot's Oil. It'll persist through server resets. The turn quests for Savage Fronds, Dark Iron Scraps, Bone Fragments, Cryptine Parts, and Cores of the Elements will be removed from the game, as well as Insignia, the Dawn, and the Crusade. The rewards for turning in those Insignia will be removed to Argentine Revered quest reward. To Argentine Revered reputation rewards, not quest rewards. For the blue items, and the Argentine Exalted rewards is where the epic items are going to go. Yeah, and the epic items will go to Argentine Exalted reputation rewards, I meant. The associated quest NPCs can stay, however. Quests that offer you a choice of blue or epic quest rewards, or just quest rewards of unique effects, will reward you with all the choices of rewards rather than just one of them. Exceptions shall be made for quests such as Pathway Conqueror / Invoker / Protector / Mender, I forgot to include that part, which already has a system that lets you pick a different ring guide for your chosen one. This way, players will not potentially have to choose which spec to get their best slot forever item from for a quest, among other concerns, which is particularly important because all items in the game are squished down to item level 65 if they are of a higher item level, legendaries included. Although the legendary is still better than the epics. By 6 effective 5 levels in this case. Quests will sometimes offer a choice of jewels made by jewel crafters. CD player is an additional reward, which will cause low-level players to actually socket their items, and therefore make low-level socketed items not suck in practice, as opposed to on paper. These additional rewards will never include pearls, since people tend to find those while they level up anyway, and since they can be used as crafting materials. Low-level items are going to be able to have sockets on them, and jewel crafters are going to be able to, and fuck anyone that has the jewel, are going to be able to put jewels into those sockets to empower the items. However, sockets are going to cost itemization points based on the item level of the item, and all jewels will have item level restrictions on them. They can only be placed in items above X item level, with no such limit if they're really low jewels. Anyway, pearl diving will no longer. The reason I say in practice, in the first place here, is because say you're a financially conservative player. You're leveling up into Barons, and you get an item with sockets in it. You might think, hey, it's going to cost money to put sockets into these jewels. So, I'm just not going to put anything into jewels so that I can save money. I'll just wait until I get an upgrade if and when I eventually I'll get an upgrade that's worth putting jewels in. So in practice, those kinds of quest rewards are not going to be as good as quest rewards that do not have any sockets in them because they won't have to spend itemization points on those sockets. However, because I'm going to offer a choice of jewels to the players an additional reward for a whole bunch of low-level quests, those financially conservative players are going to think, gee, I have a lot of jewels here. Maybe I should put some of them in my gear. Even though it's not particularly good gear. And then they might just actually do it. Or they could just spend into jewels and have slightly gimped gear. Anyway, next up. Pearl Diamond will no longer reward the player with flash bombs, seeing as how they were changed to require engineering to use. Troll Kalar, being a legendary item according to the quest text that exists in vanilla, will be a legendary item that requires level 61 to equip, and will be looted with its now separate chief, which will be an epic item. The quest, A Donation of Wool, will first require you to do a quest called A Donation of Linen, whose objective rewards are fairly obvious, and it requires level 5 to do. This will serve to cause a lot less linen to get vendored. Well, actually, no, a bit less linen to get vendored because it's not a repeatable quest. As you can do cloth turnings for reputation of capital cities, you also be able to do letter turnings. Still be light, medium, heavy, thick, rugged, and repeatable rugged letter turnings. A regular letter tournament, just like with the cloth quests. The quest, the perfect poison, will also require you to acquire Maya's Venom Sack and Princess Hooveron's Venom Sack, and the quest will give Ravenholt reputation instead of the Circle reputation. Obviously, the quest will not be offered until after the AQ gates are open. The quest named Forged Steel. All quests named Forged Steel will be renamed to Forged Copper, and the Grove quest item will also be renamed to Forged Copper, seeing itself steel is used to make stuff far more powerful than mere item level 15 items. Glyph Oak and Branch for both factions will grant Scenario Circle reputation instead of Darnassus or Thunderbluff reputation upon completion because it makes more sense that way. The Scythe of the Loon will be turned into a legendary caster form that requires level 61 to equip, and thus can never be equipped, and the Spectre of Villain Starsog will be raised to level 61. Again, the level cap will be 60, so you therefore can never equip the Scythe of the Loon. Shaman Voodoo Charm will be renamed to Gnarlpine Voodoo Charm. The Gnarlpine Shamans who dropped them were renamed to Gnarlpine Witch Doctors because shamans do not practice voodoo. The quest, Zen Spitting, will lower your Darnassus reputation by 1,000 upon completion, and the severed voodoo claw that Zen gives you will be renamed to Defiled Claw, but the quest, Seek Redemption, will increase your Darnassus reputation by 1,000 instead of by 200. Wash Ashore 2 will have its quest Wash Ashore the second Wash Ashore quest will have its quest text and quest item name changed to reflect the turtles being a dragon turtle as part of retconning giant turtles into being Warcraft 3 to Frozen Thrones dragon turtles. Beached Sea Turtle, both quests, will have their quest text, quest names, and quest item names changed to reflect the turtles being dragon turtles as part of retconning giant turtles into being Warcraft 3 to Frozen Thrones dragon turtles. The design note, learning the style piece is both a demon hunter and a hound master, which is why it has fellhounds. I don't want to forget that part and then decide to change the Thor style piece because I forgot about it. Anyway, the Sonin Tides will be turned into an epic item that still has no function due to the power that Ansrium Runeweaver said that it has, and it'll have flavor text that says, "You got a bad feeling about the stone," to justify the player not being able to gain powers over water via the stone. By using via the stone. I'm not looking at my keyboard right now. The credit will be turned into a legendary plate helm that requires level 61 to equip. It has a special effect that allows you to wear it without plate proficiency, except you can't wear it anyway because level 61 requirement. Nobody can hit level 61 except game masters. The text of the quest, Creature of the Void, will state that a Galantot Karendin Halgar to summon a Voidwalker, but it will not say that he was the first man to summon a Voidwalker. After much deliberation about the game's lore, I decided this will not be the case. Let's say I have to make up stuff about the aberrations also being demons or some bullshit like that. or warlocks not being able to enslave vibrations, or Fel Void being sort of the same thing, which they are not. This all comes from stuff that he wrote up outside of this design document about how in-game magic thematically works. I will not be going over that in this video. The Ungoro Crystal Quest shall be changed as such. The Northern Pylon will only offer repeatable jewel quests for Crystal Unknown, excuse me. The Northern Pylon will only offer repeatable quests for Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. Crystal, I have not decided the name yet. And Crystal Spire, which respectively gives you a 5 strength jewel, an item that grants a 30 arcane resistance buff, an item that grants a 13 resistance all buff, and an item that grants a 12 thorns damage buff. Again, respectively. The Eastern Pylon will only offer repeatable quests for Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. And Crystal Ward, which respectively gives you it's an attack power jewel, a 50 armor jewel, an item that grants a 30 shadow resistance buff, and an item that grants you a 300 armor buff, again, respectively. The Western Pylon will only offer repeatable quests for Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. Crystal, I haven't decided the name yet. Crystal Force, and Crystal Restore, which gives you a 5 agility jewel, an item that grants 30 nature resistance buff, a 30 nature resistance buff, an item that grants a 30 spirit buff, and an item that shares a cooldown of health stuns and heals your 1043 to 1357 hit points, cannot crit, respectively. As such, the missing crystal items such as Crystal Yield will be removed from the game. And that's all I got for quest changes. Thanks for watching.